Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start lesson 10 of your book, Rise of Communism in Russia from 1917 till 1939. Before discussing our topic, let us broadly discuss the objectives of the topic. The objectives of the topic are the Bolshevik Revolution, its causes and main events leading to the revolution, Lenin, the problems before him and his achievements, Stalin's reforms and concept of a state, his economic policies. And lastly, we will discuss the estimate of the contributions of Stalin. And in this module, we are going to discuss about the Bolshevik Revolution or the Russian Revolution, what were its causes and events of the Russian Revolution. Let us discuss the new terms of the topic. Communism. Communism is a political and economic system that seeks to create a classless society in which major means of production such as mines and factories are owned and controlled by the public. And here, when we are saying public, we mean to say government. Communism is a system where means of production are controlled by the government. Profit is not a motive of generation of production. In fact, welfare of the society is the real motive. In this type of system, private property doesn't exist. The next term is Tsarist government. The Tsarist government was essentially government by decree. Students, here by decree we mean to say an official order which has the force of law. That means all the orders which were issued by the Tsarist government were sanctioned by legal power. They were characterized as the law. The Tsar issued declaration or proclamations and his ministers, governors and bureaucrats implemented them. That means the Tsars were the supreme. They used to issue the orders which were considered as the law, and his subordinates like his ministers, governors and bureaucrats. Here bureaucrats means officials used to apply those orders. That means the Tsars were supreme in the Russian political system. The next term is feudalism. A feudal system, also known as feudalism, is a type of social and political system in which landholders provide land to tenants in exchange for their loyalty and service. Under this type of system, the officials used to get land as a reward instead of money. The next word is autocracy. It means taking no account of other people's wishes or opinions or domineering or dominating the others. In simple words, we can also say autocracy means dictatorship, where one doesn't care about the view of the other. The next word is bourgeois, belonging to or characteristic of middle class. All the people of middle class like doctors, lawyers, teachers in Russia was called as bourgeois. The next word is Bolsheviks, a member of majority faction of Russian Social Democratic Party which seized power in October Revolution of 1917. So Bolsheviks were the leaders of the Russian Social Democratic Party which held the empire in 1917, and this was a party which was responsible for Russian communism and Russian revolution. The next word is proletariat. Working class people regarded collectively as proletariat, and this word proletariat is mainly used by the Marxist. According to Karl Marx, the working class is the class which actually do the labor and they are being exploited by the capitalist. So Karl Marx suggested that there should be a revolution by the workers called as the proletariat revolution. Next is Menshevik, member of moderate non-Leninist wing of Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party, opposed to the Bolsheviks and defeated by them after the overthrow of Tsars in 1970. So Menshevik were another political group in Russia. After the dethroning of Tsar in Russia, there was a struggle for power between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. And Menshevik were the group which was ultimately defeated by the Bolsheviks. The next word is Crimean War. The Crimean War was fought from October 1853 till February 1856. This war was fought mainly on the Crimean Peninsula between Russians on one side and combined army of British, French, Ottoman, Turkish, with the support from January 1855 by the army of Sardinia Pietermont. In this war, though Russia was alone fighting with so many other European powers like Britain, France, the Turkish Empire, and Sardinia, still the Russian army was able to defeat the combined army of the other European countries. The last term is the Romanov dynasty. The Romanovs were high-ranking aristocrats in Russia during 16th and 17th centuries. In 1613, Mikhail Romanov became the first Romanov Tsar of Russia. Following a 15-year period of political upheaval after the fall of Russia's medieval Rurik dynasty. That means before Romanov dynasty, there used to be Rurik dynasty that ruled over Russia. In 1613, Mikhail Romanov dethroned the Rurik dynasty and established the Romanov dynasty's rule over Russia. That means the rule of the Tsar started in Russia from 1613. Now let us start with the discussion of the topic, the Russian communism. We will first discuss its background. The Russian Revolution of 1917 was one of the most explosive political events of 20th century. The violent revolution marked the end of the Romanov dynasty and the centuries of Russian imperial rule. During the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, led by the leftist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin, seized power and destroyed the tradition of Tsarist rule. The Bolsheviks later became the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. The Russian Revolution of 1917 resulted drastic changes in social, political, as well as economic setup of Russia. It gave rise to the emergence of a leader called as Vladimir Lenin, who changed the political setup of Russia. This revolution also marked the end of the Romanov dynasty. That means the monarchical Tsarist rule ended in Russia forever, and Russia became the Communist Party, the first ever Communist Party of the world, and the famous party called as the Communist Party emerged in Russia. The Communist Party of Russia was led by a leader called Vladimir Lenin, who laid the foundation of communism in Russia. In 1917, two revolutions swept through Russia, ending centuries of imperial rule and setting into motion political and social changes that lead to formation of Soviet Union. In fact, there was not one revolution. In 1917, there had been two revolutions in Russia. One was the February Revolution and other was the October Revolution. Both these revolutions marked the end of the Romanov dynasty from Russia. While the two revolutionary events took place within a few short months, social unrest in Russia had been simmering from decades. Though both the revolutions came in 1917, but there were many factors which were responsible for both these revolutions, and the major one was the role of the intellectuals. In the early 1900s, Russia was one of the most impoverished countries in Europe, with an enormous peasantry and a growing minority of poor industrial workers. The other reasons that why Russia had to undergo two revolutions in the same year were the poor economy of Russia amongst the European countries. Russia was one of the most industrially backward country of Europe. It was having a large peasantry, but the peasants were not satisfied with the working of the government. And the workers were also struggling by the exploitation done with them by the capitalist class. So most of the Western Europe viewed Russia as an underdeveloped, backward society. The Russian Empire practiced serfdom. Serfdom is a practice of slavery, a form of feudalism in which landless peasants were forced to serve the land-owning nobility. Here, nobility means the people who were of high rank in the Tsar's office. In contrast, the practice had disappeared in most of the Western Europe by the end of Middle Ages, as the other countries of Europe had undergone the period of Industrial Revolution. So, serfdom or slavery had been ended in other countries of Europe like Britain, France, and Italy. But in Russia, it was still going on, and that was one of the reasons of its impoverishment. Now, let us discuss the causes of the Bolshevik Revolution or the Russian communism. The first reason of the Russian Revolution was the resurgence of revolutionary movement. Among the Russian people, political opposition revived in the late 1890s. Its most visible expressions were student demonstrations, which were especially violent in 1899 and 1900, and in somewhere, factory workers also joined them. The students, the intellectuals, were not satisfied with the dictatorial rule of the czars, so they started protesting the government in violent form. And in some parts, the factory workers who were being exploited by the capitalists also joined their demonstrations. The various illegal populist groups in Russia also made efforts to unite. At the conference held in Switzerland, they formed Socialist Revolutionary Party. So, attempt was being made by the intellectuals of Russia to unite themselves against the czars. The Socialist Revolutionary Party's leadership principally was from the intelligentsia, and here, by intelligentsia, we mean to say the intellectual class, the section of the society which was well educated. The aim of this party was to appeal to the peasants to fight against the unjust land revenue and don't pay the land revenue which was demanded by the czars. So the intellectuals or the educated class was one of the main reasons for the Russian Revolution. The second reason for Russian Revolution was the rule of Nicholas II. During the first 10 years of his reign, industrial progress continued rapidly while agriculture lagged behind. During the first 10 years of the reign of Nicholas II, he laid stress on the industrial development of the country, but agriculture was in poor state. The lack of any central direction of government, particularly the absence of a prime minister, was more seriously felt under the weak Nicholas. As Nicholas was not having any position of prime minister who was actually responsible for the running of the state. This affected the administration of Russia. Uncoordinated by the emperor, several departments of government pursued separate and even contradictory policies. The czars actually were not expert in the art of administration. There was no position of prime minister, so the different departments were carrying on the different works, and even sometimes they used to make the laws which were just opposite to each other, creating confusion for the common people as well as for the Tsar. Nicholas II continued his policy of Russification of the Russian people. That means the people of the empire had been a characteristics of the reign of Nicholas. He laid anti-Semitic views and favored the continued discrimination and cultural life against the Jews. Nicholas II did not like the Jews. He adopted the policies which were discriminatory with the Jews. Many restrictions were imposed on the Jews on their cultural as well as their social life. This policy of discriminating against the Jew was called as the policy of Russification. The policy of Russification also became one of the reasons of Russian Revolution, as the Jews were against the dictatorial rule of Nicholas II. In Armenia, Imperial Decree of June 25, 1903 transferred to Russian administration the National Fund of Armenian Apostolic Church, which was formed by individual subscriptions of Armenian Christians and had been used for social and educational needs of Armenian community. An organization was formed by the Armenian people called as the Armenian Apostolic Church, and the funds were raised for this organization to help the people, the Armenian people, in their social and educational needs. But government decided to confiscate that fund. By this action, the government turned against itself the most loyal of all the non-Russian people who were in minority, called as the Armenian community. The third reason for the Russian Revolution was the Russo-Japanese War. The war brought a series of defeats to Russia, culminating in the destruction of Baltic Fleet in the Strait of Tsushima in May 1905. So, in the Strait of Tsushima, a war was fought between Japan and Russia, in which the Japanese army very easily defeated the Russian army. It was fortunate for Russia that Japan too was exhausted by its efforts. So, the peace could be obtained on fairly favorable terms. US President Roosevelt brokered the Treaty of Portsmouth. So, a treaty was signed between Japan and Russia called as the Treaty of Portsmouth, by which Russia abandoned all claims to Korea and surrendered Port Arthur and South Manchuria railways and handed over back to Japan. Let us discuss more about the Russo-Japanese War of 1905. In 1904 and 5, Russia and Japan fought for the control of Korea and Manchuria. Manchuria is a place in China. The Tsar expected a quick victory, but Russia suffered defeat on land and sea. Japan destroyed the Russian navy. As a result, Tsar became more unpopular in Russia. Russia felt humiliated on international sphere. The government seemed to be weak and incompetent. Condition for the people get worsened as economic condition of Russia got more deplorable. The prices rise, food shortages and unemployment were common in Russia. So, the Russo-Japanese War not only defeated the Russian army but also made the economy of Russia more poor. And this also became one of the potent reasons that the Russians stood against the Tsarist government in 1917. The next factor which became a cause for the Russian Revolution of 1917 was the Russian Revolution of 1905. There were many causes of the Russian Revolution of 1905, like failed state-level leadership and policy, as we have already discussed, that Nicholas II rule was a total failure. His policy of fighting the war with Japanese was also proved fatal for his popularity. Another reason for 1905 Russian Revolution was inflation. Inflation means the rise in the prices of the commodity. Due to inflation, poverty and hunger rose in Russia. Then Nicholas II also decided to have a war with the Japanese army. There was rise of reformers and revolutionary groups, as we have already discussed in the beginning of this module. The rise of Socialist Workers' Party was there under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin. And finally, an incident took place called as Bloody Sunday, which was also responsible for the Russian Revolution. Now let's discuss what was the incident of Bloody Sunday. On January 22, 1905, a group of workers led by radical priest George Apollovich Gapin marched to the Tsar's Winter Palace in St. Petersburg to make their demand. Imperial forces, or the forces of the Tsars, opened fire on the demonstrator, and they killed and wounded many people who were totally unarmed. This incident of Bloody Sunday became one of the reasons of the 1905 Russian Revolution, which ultimately became one of the potent reasons for the Russian Revolution of 1917. The Russian Revolution of 1905 was also known as the First Revolution of Russia. It was a wave of massive political and social unrest that spread through vast area of Russian Empire. some of which was directed at the government. It included worker strike, peasant unrest, and military mutinies. So, the workers, the peasants, and even the army revolted against the Russian Tsarist rule in 1905. The next reason for Russian Revolution of 1917 was the failure of Duma. Social and political unrest swept the Russian Empire in 1905, forcing the autocratic Tsarist regime to grant the creation of popularly elected legislative body, the State Duma. As the Tsar had become very unpopular in Russia, due to this, the Tsars were compelled to form a legislative organ for Russia which could make laws and regulations for Russia. So, a legislative organ called Duma was created. However, the army remained largely loyal to the Tsar, unlike in the wartime conditions of 1917, and the regime did not topple. Though in Russia, Duma or legislative organ had been formed by Nicholas II, still it could not challenge the authority of the government as the army was still loyal to the Tsars. The Duma or assembly in Russian was an elected semi-representative body in Russia from 1906 to 1917, and it was formed just after the defeat of Russia in Russo-Japan War. It was created by the leader of the ruling Tsarist regime, Tsar Nicholas II, in 1905, when the government was desperate to divide the opposition during an uprising. As we have already discussed that after the Russo-Japanese War and the Bloody Sunday incident, the people started their protest against the Russian government. In order to curb them and in order to make the people satisfied, the Duma or the legislative organ of Russia was formed. With its weakened power, the first Duma convened in 1906. Delegates were elected to 5-year terms, but the delegates to the Duma were often divided and inefficient. As a result, the delegates were unwilling to compromise with each other and the Tsar. So the Tsar quickly dissolved the Duma as well. The Dumas were created by the leaders or the representatives who were there in Duma. They were divided on every issue. They did not know the value of majority. On every issue, they had different point of view. As a reason, they raised controversies between the members of the Duma and the Tsar. So ultimately, Tsar dissolved Duma. An ending of Duma was also responsible for the Russian Revolution of 1917. People regarded that the Dumas were just eyewash to appease the common people of Russia. The next reason which was responsible for the Russian Revolution of 1917 was the social and political changes that occurred in Russia due to industrialization. Russia industrialized much later than the Western European countries and United States. When it finally did, around the turn of 20th century, it brought with it immense social and political changes. For example, between 1890 and 1910, the population of major Russian cities such as St. Petersburg and Moscow nearly doubled, as people from villages started moving to the cities, resulting in overcrowding and destitute living conditions. Due to overcrowding in the cities, the living conditions became deteriorated. For a new class of Russian industrial workers, the conditions of living were very poor. The working people now had settled themselves in cities, but unhygienic conditions were also responsible for the protest of the workers against the Tsarist rule. A population boom at the end of 19th century, a harsh growing season due to Russia's north climate, which is too cold, and a series of costly wars starting with the Crimean War of 1854 and 1856 meant frequent food shortages across the vast empire. So, unhygienic conditions of the workers in the cities and shortage of food became one of the reasons of the Russian Revolution or the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. The next reason for the Russian Revolution of 1917 was the Russian entry in the First World War. Russia entered First World War in August 1914 in support of Serbs and their French and British allies. So Russia joined on allied sides where the British army, the French army and Serbs were already fighting the First World War. Their involvement in the war proved disastrous for the Russian Empire. Militarily, Imperial Russia was no match for industrialized Germany. The German artillery was so modern that it could destroy the Schuss manpower like camphor. The government sent the army to the battlefield without much preparation, training, failing to provide necessary arms, ammunition, and supplies to its army men. The decision of Nicholas II that Russia would join the First World War was also a blunder. He should have known the weaknesses of his own army. Russian army could not fight with the competitive German army. In the time of crisis, when his army required arms and ammunition, Nicholas II was unable to supply the necessary requirement of the ammunition. And that was the reason that all the local wars that fought between Germany and Russia in the First World War, the Russians were defeated. The best examples were the Battle of Marne and the Battle of Warsaw, where Germany very easily defeated the Russian army. Within 2 years, Russian line cracked and Russians were chased back in their own land by the German army. 1/3 territory of Russia was occupied by the Germans. As I have already discussed with you that Germany had defeated Russia in the Battle of Marne and in the Battle of Warsaw during the First World War. Russian casualties were greater than those sustained by any other nation in the previous war. In 1915, Nicholas II decided to take part in the First World War, which had been started in 1914. Over 2 million Russians died on the front. Soldiers did not have sufficient rifles, ammunition, or medical care. While Nicholas II at the front, he left domestic affairs to his wife Alexandra, and she was not able to control the domestic affairs properly. So the Russians, the Bolsheviks, got the chance to start a revolution against the Tsarist rule called as the Bolshevik or the Russian Revolution of 1917. The next reason for the Russian Revolution of 1917 was the fuel shortage. As most of railway wagons were used to carry supplies to the front to help the soldiers, there were no wagon left to carry coal for civilian consumption to be used by the common people and fuel for the factory boilers. Large factories closed down for the want of fuel. As there was no transportation which could provide the coal to the factory owners, so large factories has to close down because there was shortage of fuel. The agricultural farm collapsed for the want of fuel and manpower. Mostly the manpower was also engaged in war. People died of cold during winter. The villages became depopulated because of shortage of fuel, and the people started moving to cities to work in factories. But factories had been already closed due to shortage of fuel. So the common people had to face a tough period because of shortage of fuel. The shortage of fuel in the Russia during First World War affected the life of the common people. There was no fuel even for the consumption and for the cooking purpose also. The people started protesting against the Tsarist government. Russians did not want to be part of the First World War, but Nicholas II had declared that Russia would take part in the First World War on the side of Allied. The common people were not interested in fighting any war. Rather, they were interested in making their economic condition more stronger. So people protested the rule of Nicholas II when he declared that Russia would also join the First World War. And this also became a very important reason for the Russian Revolution of 1917. Now let us discuss the second topic of the module, the outbreak of the Russian Revolution. There had been two revolutions in Russia in the same year, the February Revolution and the October Revolution. First, we will discuss the February Revolution of 1917. February Revolution. The February Revolution is known as such because of Russia's use of Julian calendar until February 1918. It actually began on March 8, 1917, but according to Russia, as it was using the Julian calendar, it was February 23, and that is the reason it is known in Russia as the February Revolution. Demonstrators clamoring for bread took to the streets of Petrograd. That means people were hungry, they were unemployed, there was lack of food that compelled people to protest against the government. Supported by huge crowds of striking industrial workers, and the protesters clashed with the police but refused to leave the streets. So there had been clashes between the workers and the students with the police, but they were determined that they had to get their demands fulfilled by the Tsarist government. In 1917, the first revolution took place on March 8, 1917. But in Russia, it is called as the February Revolution. Reason I have discussed with you in the previous slide that the Russians were using the Julian calendar. Now let us understand what is the difference between the Julian calendar and the Georgian calendars which other countries of Europe were using. The Julian calendar proposed by Julius Caesar in 708 was a reform of the Roman calendar. That means before 708 there used to be Roman calendar, and it was replaced by a new calendar called as the Julian calendar. It took effect on 1st January 709. It was designed with the aid of Greek mathematicians such as Sosthenes and Alexandria. For any given event during the years from 1901 to 2099 inclusive, its dates according to Julian calendar is 13 days behind its corresponding Georgian date which we are using at present times. On March 11, the troops of Petrograd Army garrison, here garrison means group of troops stationed in a fortress or town to defend it, were called out to quell the uprising, and this uprising was started by the workers and the students. In some encounters, the regiments opened fire, killing demonstrators, but the protesters kept the streets and the troops began to waver. That means, in spite of the fact that the army was given order to kill the common people, the people were crowding the streets and they were determined that they would overthrow the Tsarist regime. Formation of provisional government. The Duma formed a provisional government on March 12. A few days later, Tsar Nicholas abdicated the throne, enduring centuries of Russian Romanov rule. Under the pressure of the workers' protest, Tsar Nicholas II had to abdicate the throne. He has to leave his throne, and that ended the centuries-old Russian Romanov rule over Russia. The leaders of the provisional government, here by provisional government, students, we mean to say the temporary government. The leaders of the provisional government, including Russian young lawyers Alexander Kerensky, established a liberal program of rights such as freedom of speech, that every individual should be given the freedom to express his views, equality before law, that law should treat every person equally, be it rich or poor, and right of unions to organize strikes. He also suggested that the laborers should have right to form the union and ask for their rights from the capitalist class. They Here they means the provisional government. The provisional government opposed violent social revolution. The provisional government was in favor of a peaceful reforms but was opposed to any revolution which was based on violence. As Minister of War, Kerensky continued the Russian war effort. Even though Russian involvement in World War I was enormously unpopular, the workers of Russia wanted to make their economic condition more stronger rather than taking part in any war. This further exacerbated Russia's food supply problems. Unrest continued to grow as peasants looted farms and food riots erupted in cities. Civil war started within Russia, and the reason of the civil war was the shortage of food. People did not want to be a part of the First World War. They wanted that money should be spent on giving food and fuel to the people rather than to waste in the First World War. There were many reasons for the failure of the provisional government of Kerensky. One was that it continued the First World War, the Russian involvement in the First World War, and the second was that it could not feed the cities. People from villages had already started moving to cities in search of jobs in factories. But in cities, they found that the factories were also locked down due to shortage of fuel. So shortage of food and fuel became one of the potent reasons of the failure of the provisional government. The failure of the provisional government provoked the Bolsheviks to start a second revolution in the same year of 1917. So, October Revolution was started by the Bolsheviks. Bolshevik Revolution on November 6 and 7, 1917 or October 24 and 25 on the Julian calendar, which is why the event is often referred to as the October Revolution. Leftist revolutionary led by Bolshevik Party leader Vladimir Lenin launched a nearly bloodless coup defeat against Duma's provisional government. Students, I have already discussed with you that a Julian calendar, which was adopted at that time by Russia, is always 13 days behind the Georgian calendar, and this is the reason the second revolution, which actually took place on November 6 and 7, according to Russian, it took place on October 24 and 25, and that is the reason in Russia it is called as October Revolution. Here in October Revolution, the Bolsheviks were led by a leader called Vladimir Lenin, and it started a bloodless revolution against the provisional government of Kerensky. The provisional government had been assembled by a group of leaders from Russia's bourgeois capitalist class. The leaders of the provisional government were mainly the leaders of the middle class, which consisted of the intellectuals like the lawyers, the teachers, and also the capitalists, the industrialists. Lenin instead called for a Soviet government that would be ruled directly by the Council of Soldiers, Peasants and Workers. According to Lenin, rule by middle class ultimately would result into the rule of capitalist. He wanted a rule by the socialist, the peasants, the farmers, the working class and the soldiers who were actually defending the country on the front. So, a civil war was started between the Bolsheviks, who were led by Vladimir Lenin, and Mensheviks, whose leader was Kerensky. Kerensky was also the leader of the provisional government. Now let us discuss the Russian Civil War. Civil war broke out in Russia in the late 1917 after the Bolshevik Revolution. The warring factions included the Red and the White armies. The Red Army fought for Lenin's Bolshevik government, whereas the White Army represented a large number of loosely allied groups, which included monarchists. Here monarchist means those who were in favor of kingship, capitalist, the industrialist, and the supporters of democratic socialism. who wanted to establish democracy as a form of government in Russia, and he wanted that the gap between the rich and the poor should be less. So, a civil war was started between the Red and the White Army. The Red Army belonged to Lenin's Bolshevik government, whereas the White Army belonged to Kerensky's provisional government. In White Army, the people of middle class were included, whereas Red Army mainly consisted of the peasants and the workers. Let's discuss something about both these Red and White Army. The Red Army was an army of communists. Communists, I have told you in the beginning of this module, in the new terms, are those who believe that the public ownership on the means of production should be accepted. That means government should control all the means of production, and welfare of the people is a basic motive of production. The White Army opposed the communists, and they were in favor of the capitalist, the industrialist. The two largest combatant groups were the Red Army fighting for the Bolsheviks form of government led by Vladimir Lenin. The other group was known as the White Army, which included diverse interests favoring political monarchism, capitalism, and social democracy. In the White group, which was led by Kerensky, different ideologies existed. Some people favored the rule of the kingship, some were in favor of the capitalist form of government where everything should be in private hands, and some hold the view that people should have right to choose their own representative as form of social democracy. So, Russia faced its second revolution in form of a civil war between the White against the Red Army. On July 16, 1918, the Romanovs were executed by the Bolsheviks. On your screen, you can see the execution room where the entire family of Nicholas II was executed. That led to the end of the Tsarist rule from Russia and the formation of Soviet Union under the leadership of Lenin. The Russian Civil War ended in 1923 with Lenin's Red Army claiming victory and establishing the Soviet Union. In 1923, the Red Army, which was led by Vladimir Lenin, defeated the White Army, whose head was Kerensky. So, Soviet Union was established in Russia with the efforts of Vladimir Lenin, and Russia became the first communist country in the world. Now let us discuss what was the impact of the Russian Revolution. The Russian Revolution paved the way for rise of communism. Communism is an ideology which believed that government should control all the economic activities. The ultimate goal of the government is not to generate profit but to do the welfare of its common people. Here, government has right to interfere in every aspect of human's life, be it social, political, or economic. This ideology firmly believes that private property is a reason of corruption. So, a person is given wages or salaries according to the work he or she has done, leaving no space for private property. It gave rise to influential political belief system around the world called as the communist ideology. And later on, the communist ideology was adopted by many countries of the world like China and Korea. It set the stage for the rise of Soviet Union as a world power that would go head to head with United States during Cold War. Students, here Cold War means the war of ideologies or war without weapons. Russia, under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin, made itself more stronger in international sphere. In the beginning of the module, we have discussed that Russian economy in the beginning of 1900 was a deplorable position. The economy was stagnant, agriculture was also lagging behind. Where other European countries had experienced industrialization, Russia had not yet experienced the era of industrialization. The dictatorial policies of Nicholas II were responsible for the shortage of food and fuel in Russia. The people were unemployed and workers were being exploited by the capitalists. But under the leadership of Lenin, Russia emerged as strong Soviet Union. He asked all the territories of Russia to join together and work as one nation in international sphere. It was only due to the Russian Revolution and the strong leadership of Lenin that Soviet Union or Russia could challenge the United States. When USA led the capitalist bloc, Soviet Russia came up with its ideology of communism. Students, here you need to understand that these were two entirely different type of ideologies. Capitalist stands for non-interference by the government in the economic activities of the individuals. It also promotes private property, whereas communism is strictly against the private property and assumes that all means of production or economic activities would be controlled by the government. So there started a period of Cold War between both the countries. Cold War means a situation where both the countries knew that there would be no war, but they pretend to the world that war could happen anytime. Basically, it was the war of ideologies. Both the countries tried to attract the other smaller Asian and African countries towards them so that they can adopt their ideology. These are the topics we have covered in this module. In the beginning of the module, we have discussed the background of the topic, where we have discussed that the Russian economy was in poor state, whereas all other European countries had faced industrialization. Russian economy was yet in the face of the agricultural economy. There was huge level of unemployment and workers were exploited by the capitalist class. Then we have discussed the causes of the Bolshevik Revolution, in which we have discussed the policies of Nicholas II. We have discussed how Nicholas II did not accept the advice of his governors and other leaders, and he also did not care for the public welfare. Then we have discussed the Russo-Japanese War of 1904-5. The defeat which Russia has got from Japanese army in 1904 humiliated the Russians. It lowered the prestige of Russia in international sphere, as Russia is a vast country where a small Asian country, Japan, has defeated it. It also led to depopularity of Nicholas II as a ruler. Then we had discussed that how Duma, a legislative organ, was formed by Nicholas II in order to make the common people happy. And ultimately, we have discussed that Duma failed as the representative in the Duma. They were not having unity each other. Then we have discussed the Russian decision, the Nicholas II decision that Russia would take part in the First World War, and how this decision was blunder, as Russia got defeated from Germany in all the major battles that it had fought with Germany, like the Battle of Marne and Warsaw. Finally, we have discussed the shortage of fuel as one of the reasons of the Russian Revolution. Due to the shortage of food, people started dying and factories were also locked down. And then we have discussed the outbreak of revolution, that there had been two revolutions in Russia in same year 1917. First was in February, that is called as the February Revolution. It was mainly done by Kerensky. and after the February Revolution, he set up a provisional or a temporary government in Russia. And ultimately, this temporary government was overthrown by October Revolution or the Bolshevik Revolution, which was led by Vladimir Lenin. Then we have discussed that civil war started between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks, between the Red Army and the White Army. Here, Red Army was led by Lenin and White Army was led by Kerensky. And then we have discussed the impact of the civil war, that how Bolshevik overruled the Mensheviks and set up the first communist government in the entire world, called as the Communist Government of Russia. Here we have discussed that Russia came up a new ideology of communism in the world and challenged the capitalist ideology of America. And there started Cold War between the American capitalism and the Russian communism. So Russia emerged as a strong power after the Communist Revolution and under the strong guidance of Lenin. These are the questions we have covered in this module. How was the Russian Revolution of 1905 responsible for the Bolshevik Revolution? Discuss the policies of Nicholas II, which were responsible for the Bolshevik Revolution. How did the entry of Russia in the First World War become a cause for the Bolshevik Revolution? Describe the role of Red Army and White Army in the Russian Revolution, and what was the impact of Bolshevik Revolution on Russia. On your screen, you can see a YouTube link. For more information, you can click this link and get more information about the Russian Revolution. I hope this session had been fruitful to you. With the help of this explanation and internet, you are advised to make notes of this topic. We'll meet you in next session. Till then, have a nice day.